Over 300 of them will be riding along the route, and they start in Oneida. They're going to be making their way to Sequoia Central School, and then throughout. It all ends in New Hartford tonight around 6 o'clock. But it's a long ride, and there's a lot of training that goes in, and it is all about really many things now: awareness, raising money for posters. They say every dollar will deliver about 4 posters. And Christine, it's really the majority of people that are the majority of children that are abducted. It happens with someone that they know.
Estimates are as high as 70%.
Yeah, which is something you don't think about when you hear about the abductions, but it is the case. So those posters become very, very important. And another thing that's kind of interesting is that they are printed. Right here in the area. That's all done here throughout for the entire country. So it's something to really take pride in, and we really do save lives with the work that happens and the inspiration that comes out of this ride for missing children. 624-RIDE if you want to give, and you can do so in anybody's name, but you could do it in Andrew's if you like, and make a donation towards the ride. All right, a few things to get into. Hillary Clinton had probably her best performance, and Christine, you've been talking about how she's been kind of sleepy on the road.
She woke up.
It was her best performance of the entire campaign. Now, like her or hate her, it was a huge attack on Donald Trump. First time you've seen any fire out of her.
And really, it's needed to have been. I mean, for supporters of Hillary Clinton, they, I think, breathed a sigh of relief yesterday.
And I saw it really seems that she's going after. Certainly, those people, they talk about those people that are undecided and thinking, I don't know if I can trust Trump. I don't know if I can trust Hillary. That's who she was targeting. And the other is, I hate to say it, but she's targeting the 51% of the vote right now in California that seems to be leaning towards, it might not be 51%, but it's Bernie Sanders. Who's actually, they're in a dead heat going into this California primary next week.
And that's dangerous for her to do. Because it's somewhat cannibalistic.
It is. Okay, here's a story. I can't put. This is another example of if she's pretty, could she have done anything really that wrong? And you see this in cases where the judge is. There was a case in Florida where the judge came out and said, "It's hard to send this woman to jail. She's so beautiful." In so many words, that's what was said. In this case, it's in Texas. Police are looking for a Houston teacher who has impregnated, and by the way, she is a teacher. She has impregnated a 13-year-old student. Well,
she was impregnated by.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, she has been impregnated by the good point.
Otherwise, that would be a really big story.
That would be a big story. The 24-year-old Eldine ISD teacher is accused of doing one of her, doing with with one of her students. And she is now pregnant, and she's on the lam. Prosecutors say Alexandria Vera not only engaged in sexual relationships with a 13-year-old student, but the teacher, who already has one child, became pregnant by the 8th grader. And what I think is most incredible about the story is we've all seen the picture of this teacher, and she's gorgeous. So, and again, it's a female teacher and a male student. And some will walk away and say, well, that 13-year-old's pretty lucky. It's a terrible thing. It's a rape.
It's abuse.
Yeah.
Sexual abuse.
Yeah.
She, I believe, has claimed that the parents knew. They were
everybody
okay
was in
with
on
it.
Yeah.
That she got pregnant and they were welcoming a family. It's just a very bizarre story. Adding to the fact that she is a very attractive woman who is, in a relationship with an 8th grader. She could find probably a man of any age if she chose.
Well, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation if it were a man. If it were a gorgeous man impregnating
or an ugly man,
13-year-old.
Oh, I see where you're going.
Woman, we would never be even giving him any of a pass. We'd be saying you're a disgusting pervert.
Yeah, we'd be thinking about the death penalty here.
Right, and here is this woman. She's how old?
24.
She's 24 years old, and which one would say is not that old, but at 24, that somebody underage is off limits. And who would even be attracted? If you're 24 years old, who would be attracted to a 13-year-old?
When you guys first told me the story yesterday after the show, I thought, we were going to find out that the child was 18 or 19. And I was going to say that's still pretty bad, but not as bad as 13.
It's like the 17-year-old boy who gets charged with rape because he was with a 16-year-old girl.
Right.
They both are in the same class. It's very difficult. That's a difficult situation.
Right.
This is pretty obvious. Yet you're right. If this was a male teacher and a female 13-year-old student, we would not be having the same conversation. It would be all about this terrible deviant.
Right.
And
she's the deviant for this
she
behavior.
is. She is. I mean, who would want a
Alleged behavior.
13-year-old boy? I don't even get it. Makes no sense. We have a free money question of the day coming up for you. We'll give you a chance to win $100, $200, or $300 in cash. That Root Festival, the craft beer fest, it's going on a week from this Saturday over at the FX Met Brewery. We have tickets to that. Also, Wine in the Wilderness is tomorrow night at the zoo. We have some tickets for that as well. Lots to do with that stuff, and give you a little weekend action coming up. We'll check back with Andrew. Willie Waffle coming up later on in the hour. 64 degrees currently. Going to be a nice day for the ride. Christine has a full newscast coming up next at WIBX.